We're a week away from the start of astronomical spring, and for a big part of the country, that means the beginning of tornado season. But there's an area of the country known as Tornado Alley. Last summer, scientists found proof that that may be shifting. Find out why in this week's Heather's Weather Wise. Tornado Alley is a region stretching from the Western Gulf to the Great Plains all the way to the Front Range of the Rockies. It is the perfect location to get a mix of warm, moist air, warm, dry air, and cold, dry air. Three key ingredients in order to produce a system that would produce a tornado. These systems are most common in April, May, and early June. But late last summer, scientists released a study that found evidence suggesting this region might be shifting, almost like a secondary tornado alley. It's often referred to as Dixie Alley. Tornadoes tend to be more common here in early spring and late fall. We saw just how bad things can get this time of year in this region a couple of weeks ago when over 20 people were killed in Alabama and Georgia. While the Great Plains still observe more tornadoes than any other U.S. region, the apparent uptick in tornadoes farther east is concerning because now that's reaching a more populated area. Scientists have a few theories as to why this shift may be happening. The first has to do with better spotting and reporting techniques, mostly due to better weather education. Another big helper, maybe better technology, and the idea of smartphones. That means we get reports a lot faster. The second idea is that the Great Plains are getting drier. The region doesn't get as much of the moisture that tornadic systems need, so the storms are more likely to form farther south and east where the moisture actually is, i.e. Dixie Alley. Some people believe that this is all part of a cycle that will eventually revert with time, but more scientists are now starting to wonder if climate change could be part of the reason the shift has been happening. Could our existence be altering the weather patterns enough to shift Tornado Alley? Something that scientists are certainly going to look into. Before you get too concerned about the weather here, though, remember that tornadoes are very rare in western New York. New York State as a whole averages 10 tornadoes per year. Now that includes all of upstate, downstate Long Island, but western New York averages 1 to 2 tornadoes per year, at least over the past 10 years. 4 out of the last 10 years, by the way, have seen 0 tornadoes. That gives us on any given day less than a 0.25% chance of a tornado forming in western New York. Now, the last couple of years have been a little bit busy, but ordinarily, the ingredients just don't come together in our part of the country. We get some of the warm, moist air, we get some of the cool, dry air, but we don't have that key hot, dry air to mix in as well. And a lot of times, the upper dynamics of the atmosphere just don't generate enough spin to get a tornado. Occasionally, though, Lake Erie can help generate a little bit of that spin, especially during the late summer months. That does it for this week's edition of Heather's Weather Wise. Remember, if you have a topic you'd like me to tackle in the coming weeks, be sure to send it to me either on Facebook or on Twitter. I'll see you next week with a new topic, but until then, remember, it's good to be a geek.